What's up? 1985 Dude here once again. And like I promised, here's the first video of some October videos I'm doing that are going to be Halloween or horror movie related. So without further ado, here's the first movie I'm going to talk about. Now I'm going to try to talk about like 2 movies in each video. And I'm going to try to do at least 1 video a week, if not 2. I'm going to try to do 2. Just depends on my schedule at work and just things that come up in real life. But let's get started. First up is a remake. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of remakes, but I don't mind them. I'll go to see them if it's a remake of a movie I liked before. And sometimes the remakes can be better than the original movies, but a lot of times they aren't. And this movie I'm about to talk about just came out on Blu-Ray and DVD, and it's one of those ones that is an okay movie. It's just not even anything up there with the original. And that movie is Nightmare on Elm Street. It stars Jackie Earle Haley, who's Rorschach in Watchmen, and he was Kelly Leak in the Bad News Bears back in the 70s. And this is kind of like a retelling of the original Nightmare on Elm Street about Freddy Krueger. In the original, before I start talking about this one again. In the original Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy was originally supposed to be like a child molester. And then they thought, back then in 1984, when they were making the movie, they thought, they can't do that because it's too controversial and stuff like that. So they made him like a child killer. But in this remake, they brought him back as like a child molester, or they kind of hinted at it anyways, and which made it a little bit more creepy that way. But Jackie Earle Haley in this movie is a decent Freddy, but of course not anywhere near as good as Robert Englund. And aside from the original one, this one is okay. It's just a little slow. And it's when it gets to the parts that you really might be interested in seeing, it goes by too quick. And I saw this at theaters when it first came out earlier this year in April, and it was alright. I'd recommend seeing it if you're a horror fan, but if you're true to the original series, I'm true to the original Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, but I like to give movies a chance, and this is okay. I'll probably watch it every once in a great while, but the original Nightmare on Elm Street hands down better than this one. Oh, this movie also stars what's her name? Rooney Mara as Nancy, and Katie Cassidy, and a couple other people whose names I can't remember. Also, a guy that was in the Friday the 13th remake, Aaron Yu, I think his name was. I'm not quite sure. He played a little small cameo in this towards the end of the movie. It's alright. I'd recommend seeing the original Nightmare on Elm Street before this one. Next up is another remake, and that is Friday the 13th. And this is the Killer Cut on Blu-ray. Now, I thought out of all the remakes I've got on DVD or Blu-ray, I thought this was one of the better ones. I mean, of course, it still can't, like most remakes, it can't compare to the originals, but it's pretty good. Jason's played by Derek Mears, and aside from a couple bad acting in a couple parts, well, it's a horror movie. Horror movies don't generally have the best acting in them to begin with, but it's a pretty decent movie. I was entertained by it, and hopefully they can get a sequel of it up and going pretty soon. It also stars Jared Padalecki from Supernatural, Danielle Panabaker, who's been in a lot of Disney movies and Disney TV shows, Aaron Yu, like I just talked about, being in the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Amanda Rigetti, I don't know if she's been in other stuff. I'm sure she has, but this is the only thing I've ever seen her in. Travis Van Winkle, who was also in the first Transformers movies. And, like I said, Derek Mears. Music was by Steve Jablonsky. It was directed by, what's the guy's name? Marcus Nispel, who also directed one of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. I'm not quite sure which one it was. It's written by, screenplay was by Damien Shannon and Mark Swift, who also wrote Freddy vs. Jason. But yeah, if you're interested in a decent remake, Friday the 13th. It's probably one of the better remakes of a good classic 80s movie out there. Well, excuse me, I'm getting over a little cold, so my throat's a little weird. But thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video. Bye.